Okay, welcome everyone. We've got the CEO of Vendasta, Brendan King. My name is Abukar, and I'm the CEO of Saskatoon Open Door Society. Welcome, Brendan, to Threads Cultural Conversations 2023. We have you today as a guest. We wanted to talk to you about community volunteering and the involvement of Vendasta in that community involvement.
Well, thank you.
So if you could tell us a little bit about the work that Vendasta is doing in terms of volunteering with Saskatoon Open Door Society.
Yeah, I know that we've had a number of folks volunteer at the Saskatoon Open Door Society, and for us, it's great for our people to actually connect with other people. Our businesses are all over the world, and we're a customer first we take a customer first approach to that. And you can connect with customers, on Zoom and on Meet, but it's not the same to build a personal connection. And so I think everybody benefits. It's not that it is the right thing to do to volunteer and give back to the community, because the community has given so much to Vendasta and us over the years that it's important that we give back. But it's also an opportunity to connect with people and understand different people and cultures, where our businesses are, where our customers are. That makes it easier and better for us. And there's a different level of empathy that you can develop in person actually volunteering. So.
Yeah, awesome. So for Saskatoon Open Door Society, we've got a number of programs that rely on volunteering, but our idea of getting the community and individuals in our community get involved is not only to get free service for our programs and for our clients, but we also wanted to give an opportunity to the community to build that community in Saskatoon where newcomers feel welcomed, and also give an opportunity to the community to contribute to that, to get to know the newcomers in our community and also learn from that experience. So can you tell us a little bit about what that means for Vendasta in terms of that cross-cultural learning and development?
The people that have been involved in the programs, I've spoken to them, and the benefit that they got, the emotional connections they made were just incredible and well worth it. And so that's why we have our paid volunteering time, because we think about people. Everyone's busy. You've got your family, you got to sleep, and then you have your work life. And to do extra things like volunteering, those are on top of sleeping, family, and work. And so that's why we think it's worth it to say, hey, you can use some of our work time to go out into the community and connect with people and learn. And so, and what we're getting back from the people that have done that are telling us the experience is really worthwhile, and they're so grateful to Vendasta, and we're grateful to them to have performed that service.
So can you tell us a little bit about how volunteering is perceived, and especially from Vendasta's perspective and from the employees that have been involved?
Yeah, so volunteering, like you said, some people think about that as a duty or giving back to the community, and that's true to some extent. So there's always that, but I think about it as, I'm a curious guy and I always like to learn. And I think people, when they actually start to do the volunteering, what they turn out to do is they're learning. They're learning from other people. They're learning from other cultures. They're seeing how different people have different perspectives, and it's you evolve and you grow when you learn. And we have this thing at Vendasta where we're trying to grow at at least 40% every year. And in order for us to do that, our people have to basically grow at 40% every year. They have to become better. And so I think the volunteering gives them an opportunity to learn. So I think about it in that context.
Great. So that also connects to the idea of building that diversity, inclusion, and equity. And we all know diversity is given, so we all are diverse in the way that we look, where we come from, our ideas, all that is something given. So then as a society, how can we cultivate that to make inclusion and equity possible?
We are a believability-weighted meritocracy here, and what we know is that the more different viewpoints that we have in different ways to solve problems and think about things, the better off we're likely to be. So once people realize that, diversity and inclusion isn't something you do because it's, necessarily just the right thing to do, it's because it's worth it. And so that's the reason we invest in those types of things, because we get different viewpoints that we wouldn't get before, things that, someone like myself might not consider from other people.
Yeah, so, and that leads us to talk about a little bit about community and community building. So I mean, you've got community within your business, now you're growing and you've got people from different countries, but then you also connect to the larger community within Saskatoon and to the global community. How can volunteering be a tool to use as a community building tool?
You know, obviously, the more welcoming your community is, the more people will come. And one of the, you know, Saskatoon in particular hasn't been necessarily the top choice for people that are coming to Canada. They might want to go where most of their folks that they know are. So they might end up in Toronto and in Vancouver and in other places. So in order for us to build a community and grow it and get those diverse inputs, we need to connect with those people so they like it here and they want to stay here and they can have friendships here, and then we can continue to build that community. So I think it's all about making a welcoming environment for people so that we can build that diverse community.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vendasta had played a big role in that, working with Saskatoon Open Doors site at different levels, whether it is the job fairs or coming and doing mentorships and helping us kind of like support our clients to be prepared for the job market. And now we're seeing another way of Vendasta being involved in our programming, whether it's that volunteering that we have and how that volunteering experience has been helpful for you folks. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about what you heard from your teams that have been involved in our volunteering?
So at Vendasta, we have people, you know, like I said, we have 400 people in Saskatoon and 300 in other parts of the world, but about 100 people come from other places. And oftentimes the people that are volunteering are people that have come here from other places first, and then they understand the hardship of that. But what that does is when they come back and talk about their volunteering experience, it brings people who have been here their whole lives, who then start to volunteer. And when I talk to those people, it's a very satisfying experience for them. They feel really proud of what they've done. They feel an emotional connection. They feel touched. They appreciate the opportunity to do that and to grow those connections. And then it makes it easier for us to bring even more people into the ecosystem.
Yeah, and I think that is what we also like about the experience. So we normally, like when we're asked from the community organizations or businesses that wanted to come and volunteer, those days of caring, that type of thing. So because we're focused on service and we don't normally have projects that could be done within a single day. So the traditional volunteering of like, we'll bring like 20 people for you to do something. We don't have those kind of, sometimes we use them for
We're not going to build a house or a barn.
Community garden and stuff like that. But normally we appreciate the ongoing volunteering that is more than one time. So we've used like some of our programs, like our conversation circles, to help newcomers practice their English language, and we've done them outside in the community, in the park, and that gives that outside nature of like connecting with people, right? So, and there's also a lot of other opportunities for volunteering that we could utilize, but we appreciate the opportunity of getting groups of volunteers that are actually appreciated for their time and paid for by their employer, because the employer understands and appreciates
and the people,
development.
And that the people that are volunteering appreciate it too, because again, they don't have to take time from their family or from their sleep, but what it does is it gives them this sense of fulfillment. And so I know that because they keep doing it and they enjoy it, and so that's what's important.
So with Conversation Circles, this is my second time volunteering, and what I've found is we go through the circle all together and then break out into small groups, and we get to pick a topic and just discuss that topic, and hopefully the people who come and enjoy the Conversation Circles are able to spend most of the time talking, and we just listen and ask questions. From this experience, I have taken away, there are a lot of people coming into Saskatoon, different people from different countries. I don't think I've met anyone from the same country yet, which has been really interesting.
Let's put it this way, I'm paying it forward because when I first came to Canada, the whole community rallied around me to give me everything I need to start my life in Canada, and I felt it was my duty to do the same. Well, I moved in winter in Canada, and I moved to a small town in Saskatchewan called Brownlee at the start of winter. It's a rural town with 45 people. And I had, coming all the way from Australia during a global pandemic, I had no idea how I was going to get a car, go to the grocery store, open my bank account, have food for the first week. And people in the village lent me their cars, prepared food for me, stocked groceries for me in the fridge. They drove me around or lent me their trucks so that I could do basic things in life, like get my SIN, get my bank account, do my first weeks of grocery shopping and go out and see the city and whatnot. So that to me was extremely generous and kind. And I felt that, yeah, like people have helped me so much here and I want to help others.
I think my perceptions with culture and diversity, as far as what's changed, is just recognizing how difficult it can be to come to a new country when you really are not fluent in the language, and how really just tenacious these people have to be to come and learn English and start from scratch. And it's just really inspiring.
What I've learned, and I've known this, is that it can be challenging to uproot. I've uprooted across a country, so I can't imagine the challenges of uprooting across an ocean and having to learn a new language and new customs and everything else, but also that our values are very similar too. People can gain perspective from volunteering. It's very easy to be stuck in our own groups and not understand what other people are experiencing, and even a brief conversation can give you a new perspective.
Just get to know your city in a different way too, from a different lens. So you see it through their eyes, and it's so nice to hear everybody saying, everyone's so friendly, everything's so beautiful, the grass is so green, the water's so blue. Like, it's just kind of refreshing to see it from a different perspective.
It's so great to be able to meet people from all across the world, and I think this helps strengthen community connections. I'm keeping in touch with the person I volunteered with today. I'm helping him with his resume. I'm helping him with understand basic consumer rights in Canada. And I think that'll help him be more comfortable with his time and his life here.
So I think community volunteering is just a way to bring all sorts of people together from all walks of life, different ages, different genders. Everyone can kind of gather and for a purpose and share that purpose and take that forward in their relationships.
Firstly, there's a real need in the community to help people strengthen their English skills. As we saw from our session today, there were a couple of people who are really struggling to get jobs or find meaningful work or be able to integrate into communities effectively. And so the biggest thing I learned was people really need help with their English.
The hardest thing for people to do is to speak up when you hear negative behavior around immigration and people who are coming to this country. It's the hardest thing to do because you have to challenge people you love on their ideas, and you have to be able to speak up when it's hard and not when it's easy. When you can't always preach to the choir, and that's something that's very challenging to do, and it's important to do to make sure that other people understand that there's other perspectives and that there's a beautiful future awaiting us if we can be together.
Reach out, just send an email or a phone call. It's really easy to get involved. They're always looking for volunteers. And if something isn't really your jam, then there's something else, I'm sure, that you can find through the same Open Door Society.